So what's going on, guys? Daz here. Welcome back to the next episode of the YDD podcast, and today I am joined by my dad. So I actually put up a poll on one of my videos a couple of weeks ago, or last week I think it was, and I said any suggestions on who you would like me to get in for a podcast, and you guys voted for my dad. So here we are. So I'm going to start by just introduce yourself, tell them who you are, what you do, and yeah, do your thing.
I'm Anthony Walker. I'm an entertainer, singer, Michael Jackson tribute artist.
That's what you're most known for, I guess.
Yeah, probably, yeah. For the Michael Jackson, because I started that when I was 18.
Yeah.
So
So I think we're going to get into all of your why, how long, and all that in just a moment, basically. But so the main reason people actually did want to know about my dad or what my dad does is because he is a Michael Jackson tribute artist, and I've mentioned it on the channel before, and I've got videos and stuff from when I was actually at a gig that he done in Vicar Street, which is a big venue here in Dublin for those of you guys who are from abroad. But so tell me how long you've been doing Michael Jackson and why. I know some of these questions might be a little bit redundant from my point of view because I know most of them, but there is going to be a lot of stuff that comes up that I don't actually know, because I guess being your son, there's only so many questions you can ask before, like, you know,
run out of juice.
Exactly, yeah, I know what you're going to say most of the time now, so it gets to a stage where I stop asking questions because I know it's going to be the same enough answer, it's the same idea.
Right, but then try and ask me if you ask
questions
me.
from a new perspective kind of view, I guess.
From like someone that can't ask from behind the camera, you have to ask for them.
Exactly, that's the tough part here. Okay. So when did you start doing Michael Jackson, and why did you start? Why Michael Jackson of all people?
I didn't pick to do Michael Jackson.
It wasn't an actual choice.
No, actually, when I started singing, I used to listen to the Communards.
Right, and I don't even know who that is.
The Communards is they were a gay band, and which I didn't know they were gay because I was completely innocent back then. And my brother says to me, he says, you know, that's a gay band you listen to, and I says, no, don't know. And he says, no, they are. He says, did you not listen to the lyrics of the songs? You know, and I really didn't look into the lyrics of the songs. I just enjoyed the music. Yeah, and I just enjoyed the songs. The songs just sounded good, and they felt good, and so I just sang them. So I used to sing really high stuff, and that's how I learned how to sing kind of high, because I was trying to sing like Jimmy Somerville, and everyone knows you just can't, you know what I mean? He's just really good vocalist at what he does, you know. So then after that, then what happened was we were asked to mine somebody's house that was moving out. Right. So they had a tape recorder in the house, and it was the only thing left in the house, that and a lamp, I think. So all I had inside it was the Thriller album, and it was just left there. So I just took the Thriller album home, and then I did know of a song called One Day in Your Life. Yeah. And I didn't actually know it was Michael Jackson that sang it. These were all very innocent days for me, you know. So,
oblivious days.
Oblivious, yeah. So I used to actually, in my head, I pictured this blonde girl singing One Day in Your Life, and I didn't know it was a guy back then, you know, because he actually sounded like a girl. And so cut a long story short, I was listening to the Michael Jackson Thriller tape, and then I found out then. Looked a bit more into Michael Jackson, and then found out I was actually listening to Michael Jackson without knowing
look from the One Day in Your Life.
One Day in Your Life. So then I learned She's Out of My Life, and then I got into listening to Billie Jean and got a little bit more into it.
So you only started kind of listening to Michael Jackson after he'd already released a couple of albums? You weren't kind of a follower?
I wasn't a follower of Michael Jackson. I did like his music.
Yeah.
I just wasn't a fan, or I wasn't, you know, only solely towards Michael Jackson. I was listening to everybody. Right. You know, it's the Eye of the Tiger, all that sort of stuff, you know. All
that would have been in the 80s,
yeah. All the 80s stuff, and the Communards, and Don't Leave Me This Way, and all those sort of songs. Yeah. And I was going out to, you know, clubs and stuff like that. I was only like 16. We were going into, there used to be a place in town called The Apartments, and all they sold was lemonade and Mars bars and stuff. It was all innocent. Yeah. And that's the way it was. So I got into the Michael Jackson thing. So I started doing that, and then my mum and dad brought me out for my 18th birthday, and to the local pub here was the Royal Oak.
Yeah, Royal Oak.
And I was never there before.
Yeah.
You know.
Jesus, and then things changed after that.
Yeah. Then I ended up nearly living there. Yeah. All I started doing was moving in. But no, I went down there, and there was the local band they're still on the go even now. The only thing that's changed is the drummer. And
This is Streetwise, is it?
Streetwise, yeah.
It is.
So
Jesus.
Streetwise was down there, and Billy Hughes, and Julie
They're going around that long, actually.
and Julie Summers, yeah.
Jesus, so you still occasionally sing with Streetwise. I never actually knew this, that your very first ever gig was essentially with them when you were... Not with them, but it was on that night, like...
Yeah, live, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I asked a couple of bands, and I was at those type of things before, but I never got to sing with them, because most bands, even bands now, if you say do you do a Michael Jackson song, they say no. You know, you might get Blame It on the Boogie, because a lot of bands do that. You might get a bit of Billie Jean now. You know, things have changed a little bit then.
Yeah.
So then when I was down there, my man put up my name without me knowing. So I got up and I sang, She's Out of My Life.
Yeah.
And the place went bonkers, you know. So then I asked them then, do you know Billie Jean? And they said they did.
Yeah.
Which I was surprised at. And I done Billie Jean.
When you say you were surprised, was that not would that not have been a huge song for people to know back then anyway?
The bands just didn't play it because none of the singers were singing it.
Yeah.
So you couldn't, like, if the local band was doing it, nobody could actually sing Billie Jean.
Yeah.
You know, people always told me. They just weren't
that bar was too high.
They weren't getting up there. And so they just didn't. They didn't cover it because some of the songs were difficult to cover.
Yeah.
You know, you could imagine a band on the Billy Hughes on the Sunday night, because this is Thriller. You know,
it never would have happened.
It's
Yeah,
just not. You know what I mean? So you see,
it wasn't a done thing.
It wasn't,
and still isn't really.
No, you don't really hear many bands.
Anyone playing Michael Jackson now.
Yeah, like even to get Smooth Criminal out of somebody, like you'd be.
But I guess that's probably why you got so much work out of it, is because no one else is doing it really.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I've been the only one active Michael Jackson tribute artist, so to speak, in Ireland.
Yeah, because I always hear of like oh, there's an Elvis tribute act here, like, and then there's another Elvis tribute act here, and then there's a George Michael and a George Michael and a whoever and whoever. I don't think I actually know any other Michael Jackson tribute artists. And I mean, for as long as you've been in the business, I mean, essentially, so have we in the family, because we've all grown up with nothing but this. Like, we actually don't know any different than other than entertainment, performing, singing. All sorts of entertainment is all we have known. Yeah. My two brothers and Sarah, like, it's all we've known for our whole life.
Well, yeah.
So you were saying you were down with Streetwise that particular night. Sorry, I dropped my phone. And you got up and sang a couple of songs. You went nuts, and then the Jacko thing must have started from there. Then.
Yeah, it just started from then. So then what happened was people just said, can you come and sing? There'll be parties. Can you come and sing one or two songs at my party?
Yeah.
And I'd say, oh, okay. So I done one or two songs. So then it went from, say, 2 songs to, say, doing 6, 7 songs, because I was learning more songs as I went.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
basically what I'm trying to do now.
yeah. And then I started getting into the fro and into the whole thing. I had curly hair back then, and then I started getting into all the Michael Jackson style and getting into the dance, and got into it in a bigger way, bit by bit. It just happened. I didn't plan for it to do a show or nothing, nothing like that. It was just natural. So
when you started doing your first few spots and your first few gigs, were they all Michael Jackson? So when you started, it was just Michael Jackson. You were never booked for.
No, I was Michael Jackson to death then, and then literally, and then what happened was then I ended up putting together an tour show, and an old friend of mine, he's still in the business, he does a lot of lighting and a lot of shows and a lot of big theatre stuff, Darren Keller. Yeah. He helped us with Force PA and lights and stuff like that, and gave us a big dig out at the very beginning. So what was your first big gig? It probably would have been in the Royal Oak, actually. Yeah. We put it on there, and we got these big 4x6 wooden boards, painted them black, and put big stars on them. Put 2 either side and 1 at the back. Yeah. And then curtains on the side. It was really ham-boned. You worked with what you had, exactly. Yeah. Oh no, we worked with what we had, but the thing was, like, we because there was no funding, no money, none of that. It was just people still paid into the Royal Oak back then. Yeah, I know. I mean, they paid in, but there was no funding for the gig to happen. Like, you weren't backed by anyone like you really would have been later on. Like, no. That's the problem with Ireland. You're not backed by anybody. Yeah. You're alone. You know what I mean? It's not like when you go to other countries, they're funded by the councils. Right. Like when you're doing gigs and stuff. Yeah, when you go to Denmark and stuff like that, it's funded. A lot of it's all the festivals and stuff like that are funded by by the local councils, or their infrastructure is completely different to Ireland. Like, they'd have, when you go over and you want to in SM58 they'd have the SM57,000. You know what I mean? They're well in advance.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the stuff they have is really great. You know.
So, you started doing gigs. When did you start doing gigs on a regular basis? I mean, after that one night on your 18th, you had a couple of spots here and there. When did you start gigging?
After we done the few spots in the Royal Oak to get the momentum going, but then it's the usual scenario. You know, you're only as good as your last gig. So we start getting out a couple of cards. So then we start going to, you know, the Latouche Hotel in Greystones. Then we start gigging here, there, and everywhere. And then we were just everywhere.
Yeah. And what age were you around when this all started kind of taking off everywhere? So you're right then when you first on your spot, and then when did it actually kick off into like a regular thing?
I could have been in around on a more professional level in around 23 maybe.
So you would have had Anton at this stage, which is my older brother, and you would have...
I did,
Yeah, and you would have actually, when you were 23, you would have had me then just that year. So you'd only just had Anton and me, and you were starting to do these gigs on a regular basis kind of thing. Did that affect it at all, having kids? Did it make it any way more difficult, or was it did it make it more important then because you knew you had to kind of bring home a wage, or did it make any difference to you at all?
At the time, no, it didn't really matter then, because back then I actually had a job.
Yeah. You had
I had a job. Yeah, I had a 9 to 5. Yeah, I had a 9 to 5.
An actual wage coming in.
Yeah, so I didn't have to look at entertainment in general, and then I just grew with entertainment. Like entertainment, I grew. I done more stuff.
Yeah, it just naturally fell together.
Learning your craft, you know, you fall into doing other stuff. Yeah,
exactly. When you're focusing on when that is something that you love and is something that you're doing all the time, you do take inspiration from other people and you start adding strings to your bow, as you would call it, and eventually you start putting together different types of shows and different types of entertainment rather than just Michael Jackson. I mean, you start nowadays, you do a bit of everything. It's not just Jacko songs, and you would sing other songs at gigs.
Well, I had to do that.
You had to adapt?
No, I had to. No, I'll tell you what happened. With the Michael Jackson thing, I was doing loads and loads of gigs, and I was just flat out. I actually done loads of talent competitions, and I won them doing the Michael Jackson shows.
There's actually something about talent competitions I want to bring up. So for a string of Fridays for about 8 weeks, I was doing gigs in a pub in Sallynoggin, and you told me something fairly interesting about a talent competition you done in that particular pub. Yeah, what year was it?
93.
Yeah, and could you just tell the people, when you won that competition, what did you get? And what was it for?
I won €2,000.
Would have been punt back then, pound.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I think it was the deposit on my house.
Yeah. So you wanted that. He basically got the deposit off our first house. You would have moved in just as I was born.
Yeah, I won 5 talent competitions that year.
Yeah, and that was how they afforded the deposit off our first house, which I found to be bizarre. I only found that out about 2 months ago or so. I was doing gigs in that particular venue, and I don't know if one of the nights you dropped me out or you were just telling me about it before I left the house or something. I was like, that's just so random.
Yeah, out in the Sallynoggin.
I thought that was gas. That's deadly.
That was probably one of the biggest talent competitions around back then. That was actually Streetwise were the musicians behind that as well.
But $2,000 back then is a lot of money.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah,
for a talent competition.
Yeah, I mean, because the house back then was probably about 30 grand, so you know you had a big chunk of.
Yeah, so if you won 5 talent competitions, you're talking about $5,000 or so. But across the 5 competitions.
Yeah, back then, yeah. And then I actually went. Another strange one was when I only got my house, because I was only young, obviously. Yeah. And one of the other things was I said, "Oh God, I don't take your pick." Which you buy a ticket, and if you get picked out, you can. They still do it in all the pubs. Yeah. And I won the money from my cooker.
What a way to afford a fucking cooker, huh? So, I mean, if you won $5,000, that's a sixth of a house.
Yeah. Well, back then it was great though. It was great.
That's what I'm saying. That's more than what you would have needed nowadays. Nowadays you need 10% to get a mortgage. You would have had a sixth of the house, just from competitions.
Yeah. So it was good doing that. So we done all the competitions. Yeah. I was still working in a 9 to 5. I actually done a couple of jobs. Yeah. Some of them just God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you like they still haunt you.
I have nightmares from some of them. Yeah.
Literally, I had actual nightmares from some of them, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to actually dream that I was still in work in some of them. Yeah, I used to work in I worked in a mat factory, and I worked in making mats in shift work. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? My shift was really strange. I'd go in at 2 to 8 in the morning or something like that. It was just.
I'm sure that was less than ideal.
That was tough. That was the name of the company was Smith Industries. They still make mats, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was.
So moving on then from you had your regular jobs, you had your odd gig here and there. You started to get regular gigs. I guess when was the first big break in terms of when I got to a stage where you're like, I can leave my regular 9 to 5 job now? I don't mean when you got to the bigger venues. I mean, what was the point when you were like, I can happily leave my actual full-time paying job and comfortably live off gigs?
I went down to a 3-day week where I used to work in a company in Ashbourne, and don't get me wrong, it was a great job. It was actually good, but I got so busy with entertainment back then because I got into family entertainment then.
Yeah.
So then I was able to. I had the shows, which was the Michael Jackson thing, but then I started doing family entertainment,
Kids parties and
stuff like that. Yeah, and so I started looking after Trabolgan Holidays, looking after some of their stuff.
So Trabolgan in Ireland here, for some of you guys who are from abroad, it's like a big kind of not holiday camp but holiday venue.
It's a holiday homes, yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
but they're big houses. So we'd go down there say in March and finish in October. But I'd done that for 3 years.
Yeah, and this is in Cork, so this is like at the time would have been 4 or 5 hour drive. Now they have the new motorways and stuff.
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I thought it would have been about a 5 hour drive every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend.
Yeah, to do this to the same venue, same show, but you loved it, didn't you?
I loved it, yeah, because I was getting the contract down there, say for to do an entire year. I didn't have to do a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was just no need.
There was no need, and then I done the bank holiday. It was bank holiday Monday. I actually sang on the bank holiday Monday as well.
Oh, so you done the kid show like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever, and then
I done kid show on either the Saturday or the Sunday. Then I do the Michael Jackson show either on the Saturday or the Sunday, and then on the bank holidays then
right, because I don't actually, like, I was that young that I don't actually remember any of the shows, but I do remember. I remember being in Trabolgan. I remember trips to Trabolgan. I remember actually being in the van on the way down to Trabolgan. I remember the little shop in the venue where the stage was. I remember I was in that shop and it was so hot I got a heat rash. I remember all these little things about Trabolgan, but I don't actually remember the show whatsoever. So I couldn't have told you if you were doing the kid show or if you were doing the Michael Jackson. I have actually no recollection of any of the shows at all.
Yeah, so we done all those. It was great. So like, I was able to leave, and they asked me like either go back to a 5-day week or nothing, and I said no, I just can't do it.
Yeah, so I would have been about 6 around then. Was that? So that I would have been 6 in say 2001, or was it a little bit later on?
2002.
Yeah, so that's when you started in Trabolgan, or was that when you left?
No, that I probably started in 2001. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So I would have been about 6 or 7. Yeah, so that was
going back a long time.
A long time, yeah. And then I think the real change then, obviously when Michael Jackson died.
Yeah.
I think that was when everything went.
Well, no, I don't. Yeah, but things changed completely, much more dramatically.
Yeah.
Because I'd already done a couple of shows, but then like.
Well, before you actually get into how that affected your career, where were you when you heard Michael Jackson died, and how did you react to that?
I was actually driving up through, not far from here, through Finglas East, and somebody sent me a text.
Yeah.
Saying that, did you see Michael Jackson is in hospital, and there's reports saying that he's dead. And
right.
It wasn't confirmed,
Yeah.
And I said, no way. I said, he's not dead, he must be just sick or something,
Yeah.
And I came back down to Sky News, and everyone's saying...
I remember we were all sitting at the table.
And I just couldn't... when they actually then confirmed that he was dead...
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
Was it a shock? Was it almost like a friend had died? Like, cause, I mean, he obviously has played a huge part in your life.
Changed my life, because, you see, the other part of the story that I didn't get to tell you is, like, when I was growing up in Finglas...
Yeah.
It was rough enough around here. Well, rough enough how I grew up around and with.
Well, tell me about that then. I want to know all about that. So, tell me about your life growing up. I want to know all of it. So, Finglas
was quite rough. back then it was rougher.
Yeah, I mean it's still a rough enough area now. It's just thankfully it's not as bad. But
yeah, well, it was just maybe because I was probably in it. You know what I mean? Now I live in it, but I don't be out there on the street.
Yeah.
Maybe because I was on the street, you know what I mean? I was only growing up, I was still hanging around. So when I got music, really took me away from the street.
Rough side of
the
it.
street.
Right.
Yeah, it took me away from the street. And so when I got into the music, I started getting into different elements, and I got away from the bad elements.
Yeah.
So like I've had friends when I was growing up who died, and died from drugs, and had friends who died and robbed cars, and had friends who in school, people who were murdered. I had knives pulled on me a couple of times in Finglas back then.
Jesus,
I had a guy who wanted to cut off my fingers with a knife because he wanted a shopping trolley that I had.
For a shopping trolley.
It's
just a different world.
I had another friend who pulled a knife on me because I heard he took the stereo from my car, and I said it to him, and he took a knife out on me. So, and it wasn't just a knife; it was like that's a bloody knife, you know.
Yeah.
It was one of those knives. Yeah, it was a big. So, all of those things did happen, and I've 101 stories of things that happened when growing up.
Right, well, we'll get back into growing up and all that Michael Jackson in just a moment. We're going to take a short break. This is YDD Podcast Part 1. We'll be back with Part 2 in just a moment. Okay, so we are back with Part 2 of the YDD Podcast. I'm going to have to cut you short there because I could see that the battery pack was flashing on the camera, and I didn't want to lose you. So you were actually talking there before we stopped about growing up in Finglas and about it being rough, and about people pulling knives on you for shopping trolleys and car radios. That's like different world to what I grew up in, and I mean we grew up with what your house where you grew up was a 5-minute walk, like if even. It's around the corner, like so it's madness how it changed from your youth to mine in the exact same area, like. But tell us a little bit more about growing up, I guess, and how you were saying about how Michael Jackson changed your life, that he actually took you away from that in a sense.
Yeah, music in general took me away because I started getting because I grew up where I was. I mean, because when you're out in the street, I mean, you're grown up with everyone who's, you're in with the crowd who's going and doing this and doing that, and it's the wrong crowd. You get led astray,
Yeah,
it's true. Like tell me your company, and I'll tell you who you are. You know what I mean? It really is. If you hang around millionaires, the chances are you're going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
You hang around with bums, you're going to be a bum.
Yeah. It is, because
that's as simple as that. You know what I mean? So like if you hang around with the likes of musicians, the chances of you recording a song is high. Because that's your bag. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it worked, and so eventually got out of that. Like because even when we were only moved in to our first house about inside of a year, maybe about 8 months.
Yeah.
And a guy knocked on my door that I knew.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hey Anto," I said, how are things? And he says, I want to buy a house from you. I said, "Oh," they said, "Well, my house is only like I'm only here about 9 months or inside of a year."
Yeah.
So we're not long here. We're into moving in. We're not going to sell it. And he says, "No, but I really want to buy it off you." I said, "No." I said, "Well, if we paid X amount for it." And he said, "Well, I'll give you another 4,000 or 5,000 over the odds for it."
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah." But I said, "Look, we've only moved in. We've a new baby, which was you."
It was me, yeah.
And
because he's moved out there when I was 6 months, so.
And he said, "I don't think you understand." And I says, "What do you mean?" And he pulled back his shirt, and he had a gun down his trousers, and he says, "I'll be back again tomorrow for the answer." He said, "I want to buy this house," and that's a true story. And but he didn't come back.
So that was your saving grace. What would you have done if you had come back?
I don't know.
You would have had to sell the house, I guess.
But he would have rented him a room.
Jesus, like I mean, it really is a different world. Like it's a completely different world. Like.
Yeah, no, I used to see guys. Those guys. It's just I could go on and on, really. But like the end all, the be all of it was, I got out at the right moment, so to speak. I think if I didn't get into music and into entertainment, I probably would have had a different outcome. I probably wouldn't be sitting here doing this now.
Because I mean, a a very high rate of people that you grew up with that you went to school with and stuff are dead or locked up or on drugs or not in as good a place as they could have been, I guess.
Yeah, even some of my best friends, like
from when you were 15, 16, like it's...
yeah. Like they're either gone or they're on drugs or they're probably gone or locked up or murdered.
It's crazy. And you reckon you got out just before?
Yeah, so that was
really?
that was like 20 odd years ago. I got out when I was about 18, 19 from all of that.
Yeah. From all the badness, like.
From all the badness, yeah. And I got into music, and everything changed. Then there's different scenery, and it took me to loads of great places. Then, so I got to see loads of different venues, places. You make loads of contacts, and then after, as you were asking me about after when Michael Jackson died, then I had a couple of friends in MCD, and they asked me.
So MCD are just a large company, promotion company who run.
It'd be one of the biggest in Ireland, along with Aiken Promotions. There's only two really big guys.
They run like basically all the any artist that comes over here, like Bruno Mars, Chris Brown, Rihanna, any kind of big named artist.
Basically, bob through them two companies.
Yeah, they run through those two companies. So MCD being one of those big companies. Yeah. Continue.
Yeah, so like we got asked then to do could I produce the Man in the Mirror. Well, the show wasn't called anything then.
Yeah.
They just asked me, like Brian Whitehead from the Olympia. I'd worked with Brian before. I'd done a couple of shows in the Olympia for Brian. One of them was it was called what was it called? The best. Oh, I'm trying to think the name of the show. It was so long. It was the best 80s show in the world ever. It was called.
It wasn't really well thought out, was it?
Yeah, no. It was long with Hard Twitch. It all had to be just 80. So we done Midnight at the Olympia for a couple of months. So I'd done a good few gigs there before we done the actual before we were
Yeah.
We set up a tour. So we set up a tour then with I got in all the dancers, got in all the backing singers.
The band.
The band.
Light man, sound man, everything.
Yeah, like it was crazy. It was just like, it was very big. And then I got one of the bizarre things, because I was trying to describe it, because I was in Spain on holidays when I got asked. No, I got asked to do it, and then I had to go on holidays because I had it booked. But I was writing while I was sitting in the sunbed. I was writing the show. I was writing down. I had pages, and everyone else having a drink, and I'm writing
notes and plans
and what's to go on, the set listing, and who's coming in, and what's happening here, and what goes on. And then one of the things then I decided to do was, okay, we're going to build an army tank.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
So because in one of the scenes, Michael Jackson, when he's on tour, the Earth song, an actual army tank comes out onto the stage.
Yeah. And so obviously you couldn't have an actual army tank, so
I wanted to recreate so it looked exactly like an army tank,
as authentic as it could have.
Yeah. So one of the dancers.
Have you a photo of the tank that I can add in at this part?
I do, yeah. Jay actually sent me a couple of photographs.
Yeah.
Jay is one of the dancers that was in the show. He's actually a good friend of the family. Jay Keeley. He's a legend. He's one of the nicest guys.
Jay he's very, very handy, put it that way, and he's like, when it comes to making anything from anything, Jay can do it.
But we were supposed to make a tank that could travel on tour.
Yeah.
So the tank was supposed to come down, and it was supposed to go all together.
Compact,
and so we could put it in either into a van or on the back of a truck. But Jay made it so it was like a tank. So it was like
it didn't come apart. It was a full size.
It was the size of a car.
Yeah, a full size model army tank. It was massive. And one of my favourite stories about this is that you had to drive through from Dublin to Northern Ireland with that.
We done the show in Belfast, in the waterfront of Belfast.
And for those of you guys who don't know, who are obviously once again from abroad, not the best relationship between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland because of the troubles and stuff that has happened between England, Northern Ireland. So to travel from Dublin to Belfast
with an army tank. It's a little bit, off the hook. It's like it'd be like travelling through Iraq, really, with a tank on the boot of your car. It just doesn't work. But no, it was just no. It wasn't so much. It was that bad. It was with the things with the Northern Ireland and stuff like that. It's just tacky, and like
yeah. Oh yeah.
Still,
I mean,
it's still a bit sticky, but like it's not even half as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, I know, 100% not as bad as it used to be. But I think it's one of those things that people still haven't seemed to let go for some reason. Whatever side of the border you're on, a lot of people haven't really let go. So when they see an Irish reg with an army tank on the back, they certainly question it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, like even when I've done a couple of gigs in the Dockers Club up there, and it's very much the Northern Ireland people keep talking about Protestants and Catholics and stuff like that, where we don't get that down here. You see.
Yeah,
we're not used to that down here. And the same with Cork. Cork people, when I get down to Cork, people call me a Jackeen.
Which is what?
I'm not actually quite sure. Like, it's supposed to mean some way, but like, it's a bad thing.
Is that like from being from Dublin? Is that a slagging for Dubliners?
Yeah. It's a slagging for a Dubliner or some. Maybe I should check it out. I did know the meaning. I just forget.
Yeah.
I did look up what it was.
It's crazy though how you can have these different opinions of people purely from where they're from, but in the same country. I mean, because I know obviously there's racism and stuff, and you have you have different perceptions of people from foreign countries. But I mean, Dublin and Cork, as you said, is a 2.5 hour drive inside the same country. Yeah, it's not actually.
And I love Cork. Cork is one of my favourite places in Ireland.
Yeah,
because when you go down, like I remember one day I was delivering in a van, and I seen all these rough guys, look like they were gonna go out and rob a car. That's just been me. Stereotypical. But it's just these load of guys were just standing there. But I asked them, I said, "Can you tell me how to get to such and such?" Will you go down there?
Yeah.
And it just didn't.
It didn't fit with the.
It didn't fit, because I'm so used to Dublin, and it's over there, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you done Belfast, obviously, you were saying with the tank. So
yeah,
as part of the, you were going to say.
No, I wanted to get an army tank built. So everyone in the. I said to the lads, I'm getting a tank built, and he said, "What, a fish tank?" I said, "No, an army tank."
A fucking tank.
Yeah. So I said, and he said, "What do you want a tank for?" And I said, "Well, I said we're going to put it into the show for the Earth song." And so I got a full tank made, and it ended up costing about $3,000 to get this tank made. Jay put it together. It was one of the craziest moments, really. You know what I mean? But it was probably one of the best
things you could have added in.
Oh, it was great.
It was so memorable that like no one ever forgot the tank.
Well, one of the best memories I have, there's two great memories I have from that specific scene, and one of them is definitely in the waterfront in Belfast.
Right, go on.
Where we had 2,000 people and we were doing the Earth Song, and the Earth Song was the closing song
of the first half.
And then we'd go into the second song and the curtain would come down. But in the waterfront Belfast, you didn't have a curtain that came down because it's such a big venue that you just had to, pause, and then the lights would go down, and then you had to leave the stage, you know what I mean? And then we'd go to the second half. But up there, so then what would happen is, Jay, we made it so I had a turret, the lid would come off.
Yeah, so the lid opened on top.
Yeah, the lid would open, and he'd climb out through the top.
Yeah.
And then he'd jump down, to the second half of the tank with a big rifle, dressed as a soldier, full American outfit, type of camouflage stuff. And then he'd jump down, and then he'd put the gun to my head. And then the keyboard player, which was Keith in that particular venue, would hold just one compelling note. It's just a note.
Yeah.
Just to set the mood.
Yeah.
So then he came over and he put the gun to my head, and just in the silence of 2,000 people, then all you hear is, "Don't shoot!" Just this little boy just shouts out in a Northern Ireland accent, "Don't shoot!" You know what I mean? And everyone just, they kind of, some of them laughed, some of them gasped. They didn't know what way to take it. It was a weird kind of.
Because it was after creating such a realistic moment.
The moment was there, and I actually didn't realise how big that moment was. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how people were actually in that moment. That song was so powerful, that piece.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise how big it was, because that rang out, and people got really emotional for that bit.
Yeah.
Some people even cried. So then what happened was, I found out from the Olympia Theatre then, from people, actually your cousin Michelle, and she was there with our nephew, or with our son, sorry, my nephew, Reese.
Yeah.
And because he was so small, he was enjoying the show, and it got to that particular section as well.
Yeah.
With the army tank, and his mother Michelle turned to him and said, you know, was asking him
why was he enjoying the show?
I enjoying the show. And she turned around and he was crying. He says, "Why are you crying?" He said, "I don't know."
He just got so emotional.
He got so emotional because of the song and that particular piece. Yeah. We had other people coming on dressed as, you know, like, war victims or, homeless, and, they're all coming on.
Yeah.
And everyone just wanted peace, which everyone does just want peace, really. And he was crying because he just got so emotional, but he couldn't describe to his mother, she said, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "I don't know." He just got emotional. But he couldn't describe.
It created that mood, that atmosphere.
So that piece was really strong and it worked so well. And then the other thing was I got another, I call it the oxygen chamber.
Yeah.
I actually still have that.
Do you?
We still have that. That's in Jay's
lockup.
We still have that, yeah.
That was like a time capsule, basically.
Yeah.
Because it was obviously after Michael Jackson had died that the idea of the opening of the show, am I right in saying that you were coming back in time?
Yeah. It was like, kind of like that. That was kind of the effect we were trying to have.
Yeah.
And so what we done is we had a time capsule. It basically looked like a big shower unit, really.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
So then what we done is we put loads of blue lighting in it inside.
Yeah.
Right, and
and filled it with smoke.
Yeah, we put a hole in the back. So I would be in there and it was closed.
Yeah.
Right? And we put a black curtain over the front of it, and then we filled it up with smoke. But nobody could see that on stage because the stage was just a blackout.
Yeah.
So then we'd have danger coming up on the screen.
Yeah.
And then, with the big radiation sign,
yeah.
And then they'd take the cloth out and then they'd light the capsule up in blue.
Yeah.
But the smoke, because there was so much smoke in it, now it took me a minute or so, like I couldn't really breathe in there like as much as I wanted to, but I had to just wait for that minute because that minute was really important to the opening of the show.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind the smoke because it was it was thick.
Yeah.
Smoke.
It was smoke.
Smoke. And so what they done then is they take the curtain off the front. We had a guy at the back dressed in black. He'd pull it back and it just reveal the capsule. The lights would come on, but the smoke would light up in blue.
Yeah.
And because it was so thickly lit, you couldn't see me.
Yeah.
There's no way you could see me,
And then when it opened,
so then we had the effect put in
as the door opened.
The sound effect, we added that in, and it was simply me just pushing the door with my thumb.
Yeah.
We had it so the door would swing open.
Yeah.
But it was done like we went over it a couple of times so we get the right pressure on it so the door opened with a certain type of swing,
Yeah.
So it would go. So to the audience, then it was like
coming back in time.
Yeah, well, that was basically what we were trying to do. We didn't say that to everyone.
Yeah, but that was the illusion it gave.
Yeah, so then we just went straight into the show. Then we'd open up with,
Yeah. Want to be starting something?
We'd go into that. So the time capsule helped, the tank, and then the other thing I got made then was a big speaker. I actually have some of them here in the studio. Them skins cost me a lot of money to get made. They're joint Marshall
amp stacks.
Yeah, replicas. It's just a skin. It looks like
it's almost like just like a wallpaper, I guess.
Yeah, wallpaper, and it just, instead of Marshall, it has Michael written on it.
Simple but effective.
But we used to have them on the frame, and we'd burst through.
Kick through.
Yeah.
Right, we'll get you to tell us a little bit more about venues in just a second. We're going to end this part here because we need to charge the camera one more time. Back in a sec with part 3. Alright guys, welcome back to part 3 of the YDD podcast. We are of course joined by my dad, who's been talking about his life in general, growing up, his career, and then obviously the dramatic turn that it took after Michael Jackson passed. Michael Jackson passed. So you were talking about the types of gigs you've done and the extremes you went to make your gig as realistic, authentic, and as enjoyable as physically possible from what you were able to do. Obviously without being Michael Jackson himself, you tried to bring across that feel as best you physically could. And in doing this show and this tour that you eventually embarked on, you've done some massive venues and occasions in the process, which all kicked off with the Olympic Theatre.
Yeah, it kicked off with the Olympic Theatre in 2009.
2009 was the first,
in October. They gave me, say,
Because they would have rang you shortly after he passed, wouldn't they, to get this going?
Yeah, they asked me would I do it because I knew I was the only guy in the country that actually done it. And Brian, like, seeing some of the shows that I'd done, and then he came to see me in one or two venues that I was doing.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, look, can you put together, produce a much bigger production?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, I can do it." You know. So he says, "Okay."
And what was the time frame he gave you for it?
I had 2.5 months.
2.5 months
to put a band together, dancers together, video together, the whole show, to put everything together from scratch.
2.5 months to put together a show. Was at the time before it wasn't just a tour, it was just Olympia, was it?
It was 3 months that I had, but as I said, I had 2 weeks on holidays.
Yeah.
So I literally was working in my head while I was on holidays.
Yeah. So when you originally got the contract, or whatever you want to call it, to do the actual show, was it originally just that venue, or was it a tour from the get go? Did you know it was going to be a tour?
No, I didn't know it was going to be a tour.
Right.
I knew it was going to be the Olympia Theatre for
3 nights back to back.
No, well, it was for 1 night.
Oh, it was originally 1 night.
Originally, to start off, it was 1 night, you know.
Right. So the Olympia Theatre is a venue in Dublin that holds a little over 1,300 people.
Yeah.
And you were going to just do the 1 night, and then how did it end up being 3?
Due to ticket sales, it just went out through the ceiling.
Yeah. So you sold out. You done 3 nights back to back, and you sold out every night.
Yeah.
Opening tour, opening show, which is, as I was trying to say, about 4,000 people in 3 nights.
Yeah.
Who had come just to see. I guess they came for the love of Michael Jackson and to see that as reinvented as best they could. But they actually came to see a complete production that you would actually put together.
Yeah, I put the whole thing together, everything from scratch.
I'd say that must have been a magical feeling, though, to know that you had. I know that, as I said, they came for the love of Michael Jackson, but the fact that 4,000 people in 3 days witnessed a whole event, a whole thing that you'd put together yourself, I'd say that must have felt like amazing. Or being on the stage and looking out at 1,300 people. And
well, that bit I didn't really look into what I had done. I just knew I had to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, within those 2.5 months, say 3 months with the holiday included, I mean, I was doing dance rehearsals, I was doing band rehearsals. I was going from band rehearsals to video editing.
Yeah.
And I done that for 2.5 months. And I literally, in the middle of some rehearsals, I think I had a beard. And like a bit scruffy hair at the minute, but like, I mean, I had a beard, and I was going from one thing to the next, and that would be a complete day. Like, that would be, you know, dance rehearsals, band rehearsals, video editing. And I done like a lot of that day after day, going over songs, going over set listings, going over. So there was a lot. And then not only that, I was actually bringing in the people that had to do this, because
you hadn't got a group.
We didn't have anybody. There was nobody.
You were the body, and that was it.
What group?
Yeah.
There was nobody.
What show?
There was no guitar player. There was no band. There was nobody then.
So you're already saying about doing dance rehearsals and band rehearsals and stuff. First off, you had to do dance auditions and band auditions, I guess, because you had to actually.
Yeah, we done auditions for different musos.
How did you put it out there that you were looking for a band to do 3 nights in the Olympia? How did that? How did you get word out?
I don't actually know how it just began. I just started putting the feelers.
I guess you would have had connections from the
I knew a lot of people from here and there, but I needed different musos. I needed I mean, I'd worked with some guys in the past doing other smaller type of shows with the bands and stuff. So we started at scratch and just I don't even know if I was on Facebook back then. I don't even know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so, to be honest. I'd say you probably had just started, if even.
I know.
Oh, no, you're talking 8 years ago.
I probably just started, so it wasn't done that way. It was done the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
It was done that way.
Because one of my favourite things I've ever actually seen, it was just something so small. But I was at a festival and there was a band playing, and they had a sticker going the whole end of the guitar case that just said the Beatles didn't need a website, and I thought it was deadly. Yeah, that was savage, because that wasn't how things were done then. No,
I mean, and it was done kind of old school. the whole thing, the way it was done. I mean, it was pen to paper the way I put the show together.
Yeah.
The set list, and the band came in, and then we kind of put the band together. Who was looking after what, and not rehearsals, and then the dancers, and then
what I really liked also about the original shows when you started doing it, so you had yourself on as Michael Jackson himself on stage.
Yeah.
You had your sister as one of the backing singers.
Yeah.
You had your nephew and ma as your costume and makeup.
No, I had your ma.
Yeah, makeup. Yeah, sorry, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Your nephew and my ma.
Yeah.
As makeup and costume.
Yeah, makeup and costume. Yeah.
You had your brother Joe as guitarist.
Player, yeah.
Your brother Kevin was
video and eventually became tour manager for the sake.
You had your eldest son dancing on stage with you.
Yeah, had Caden.
Yeah, you had your eldest son's best friend.
Jay, who built the tank, he was also one of the dancers.
You had Jordan, my little brother, and Sarah, my little sister, as
for the Earth Song as the
children. Yeah.
Song, yeah.
And then I didn't really fit in anywhere, so I was kind of I looked after the merchandise and stuff for the show. I was outside doing my bit as well. I wasn't on the stage, but at the time, at the time I didn't want to be, which is crazy. But if I had to be nowadays, it'd be completely different. Like because it's what I do.
Everything changes. Yeah.
But what I was trying to get at there is that everyone in the show almost was family or a close family friend.
Originally family, yeah.
Yeah, and in the original shows they were all family or family friends.
Family and friends, people I knew. I brought in everyone that I thought would do the job great, you know.
Yeah.
Or I needed to get done in a really small time frame. People that I could trust.
You had to work with very quickly.
Yeah, and it was really. I remember Keith, the keyboard player. He said on opening night, Brian Whitehead comes out and he says,
I remember this.
He says, Anto, he says, this show better be good. He says, they better be all standing. He said at the end of the night, and Keith says to him, he says, well, take out all the chairs. Why
don't you take out all the seats? But the thing is, Keith was serious.
Yeah. No, he was just dry.
I want them all on their feet, and he says, why don't you just take out all the seats? Yeah. Because, and the thing as well, at the Olympia, the seats actually come out. So he was like, why don't you just take out all the fucking seats?
Yeah, but he was crazy. He was good crack.
So after your original 3 nights in the Olympia, you ended up going on tour a lot of times. You've done a few tours actually at this stage. You've done a fair few. So you've done the Olympia Theatre 3 nights back to back, starting off, which is 1,300 plus people a night.
Yeah, then we done that again like about 2 months later.
Yeah,
we done it again.
So you had 6 sellout nights in the Olympia. You done Cork Opera House.
Well, we had 6 sellout nights within 3 months.
Yeah,
but no, we done the Olympia. I'd say about 6. I don't know. We've done there about maybe 15 times.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, you sold out all, if not like about 90% of them. I think maybe 1 or 2 were just under sellout, but the rest of them were complete sellouts, weren't they? Yeah,
the one with the Cork Opera House, we done Saturday and Sunday, and Monday wasn't advertised.
Yeah,
and they actually sold Monday out over the phone.
Just people ringing for tickets for the Saturday and Sunday, was it?
Yeah.
So
we sold out on Monday without advertising.
That's insane. So that's about 1,000 people in the Cork Opera House, just under.
Yeah, that we didn't. It wasn't advertised for the Monday, and
you managed. So you done 3,000 people in 3 nights in Cork Opera House, but the third one didn't actually exist and managed to sell out 1,000 people.
Yeah, we were asked could we do a third night. We said yeah.
And it sold out itself.
Yeah, it sold out.
On its own merit. That's unreal.
They done it.
So you had the Olympia, Cork Opera House, Belfast Waterfront, probably the biggest one they done here in the country, isn't it?
Yeah, that holds that.
I think that holds.
I took that on. That was one I took on myself.
That holds a 22, wasn't it?
I didn't do that through an agent. We went down and we took on the Waterfront of Belfast. We put the show on and we sold out to about 2,000 people. And I have to say, what a great city.
Yeah,
I love that city.
But it was like, how many times did you do the Waterfront? Just the once, was
it?
Twice.
Yeah, we've done it twice.
And that's how
the second time. The second time we had about 1,400 people.
Yeah.
It's a big venue to sell out.
It's a big venue. It's very. I remember when we travelled up there. That was
I remember we were doing a promotion and we I was meeting. We were on Ulster Television.
Yeah.
And we were on a couple of radio programs, and I met. There was loads of famous people I met in and out of up there. Like remember one of them was the girl of Birds of a Feather, the older one, the black hair.
Right, I don't know who that is.
The one who's supposed to be a bit of a floozy. So that's our character, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, but I met loads of people along the way that you know, the opportunities to meet. Like I met we done the lyrics board. I got to meet the lead singer of what they call that, In the Living Years, Mike and the Mechanics,
Right.
Ferric.
You've met a lot of people doing this, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because and one of my things that I remember obviously as well is when you got tickets off, was it Granda or not actually like your dad, but Mrs. Brown.
Mrs. Brown.
Mrs. Brown's boys.
Yeah.
Did you get them off Brendan himself, or was it
No, Dermot got them. I was playing the 2 weeks after Brendan O'Carroll was playing in the Olympia.
Yeah.
And I went along to see Granda because Granda's a friend of mine. His nickname is Bugsy, and his real name is Dermot. He's actually one of the nicest guys I know.
Yeah.
I know him a long time. And
I remember the tickets we got were for the box.
Actually it was I think it was Brian Whitehead gave us his tickets for it. It was his personal the box that he used to take. And we went into the box, but I didn't know that Granda had told Brendan where I was sitting.
Yeah. I remember that as well, yeah.
And so he told Brendan, so during the Mrs. Brown's boys, Brendan O'Carroll says, "Oh, by the way, you know, there's a Michael Jackson show on here in 2 weeks' time." And he gave the date, you know, on the 19th or something, the 19th of June or something like that, you know. And see that gobshite up there in the box? It's him. He thinks he's Michael Jackson, you know. I made an absolute, you know.
Oh, you gave you a stick.
I wasn't ready for it, you know. And everyone was just looking at me, you know. You have 1,300 people at Mrs. Brown's voice, and he's pointing at you. And then he put the light on you, and God, it's just... Brendan, I'm going to strain.
It was classic because then we went backstage and we got to chat to all of them. And
yeah, you go backstage and Brendan's having a smoke on his break with his wig on the window ledge.
Yeah,
and his microphone here, and he's having
and
he's having a smoke of his more. He smokes more.
Yeah, I can actually literally remember that he had the wig on the window.
Yeah, because I got just to meet him backstage. Because he just wanted to meet Brendan.
Yeah.
And Grandad brought us back.
So we have got a little kind of perks like that from what you do. It's been cool. And then one of the other things I wanted to mention as well in terms of venues. So actually, there's a couple of things about venues I want to talk about. But so Vicar Street, the Helix, the Olympia, Belfast Waterfront, Cork Opera House, they would have been the kind of major ones in Ireland.
Yeah, the Millennium in Derry, we done there. We done another one over in Mayo.
Yeah, and then obviously then as well we have you done Oxygen Festival.
Oh, you done Oxygen,
which is something I wanted to talk about. So Oxygen would have been like guess it was like the original Electric Picnic. Or so it would have been. We have the artist pass on the wall. Yeah, I'll actually try and get a shot of that and put it in in post production.
That was our van pass that we.
So you could drive the van in, yeah.
Yeah, that was the year. That was the year after we done 10. We done year 10 and year 11.
Yeah, 2010, 2011. Yeah. So it would have been like the original Electric Picnic, or yeah, just would have. For those of you guys who are from Ireland, you will know Oxygen. Oxygen was huge for the few years that it ran. And you, through MCD, got to do it twice. Was that who it was?
Yeah, MCD, yeah. John Foley and Brian Whitehead.
And I've actually a class photo of you on, I think it's on my Facebook. I think I posted for Father's Day last year, or on my Instagram, one of the other. Really cool photo of you actually playing to the crowd in Oxygen.
Yeah.
Black and white, savage photo.
That was actually a good photo. I think my brother Kevin took that photograph.
Yeah.
It
was a really, really cool photo because, I mean, not every day or not everyone gets to say that they played, like, a music festival of that size to a crowd of that size, like
that was crazy. That was just nuts.
And then you've done as part of your tours, you've gone abroad and you played Copenhagen.
Yeah.
So what was the venue like in Copenhagen? Because that's like one of the only shows I wasn't at, because every other venue we all either went along with you or were involved in it. But obviously when you're doing Copenhagen, that wasn't something that was realistic.
That one wasn't easy because my dad only died a week before. So we were going over.
Was it that soon after?
Yeah, a week. But we had the date in, and because we were, I don't bring it on a downer.
Yeah.
But like when you're in hospital with somebody who's dying, and you want to be there, it really takes a lot out of you because you're not getting good sleep, you're not eating correctly, and so when I went over there, the show was good.
Yeah.
The show actually,
but you weren't in it.
No, I had a really bad chest infection, which I don't normally get. I think I was just so run down. But I went and we done it. I could have been I would have been running on about 80%, maybe 75%, and of my normal self.
Yeah.
And but anyway, that went really well, and then until I fell off the stage.
You fell off the stage, about a 6 foot drop, was it?
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah.
Do you still have the photo as well of you after you fell?
I think it's on my Facebook
your
page.
Facebook.
Yeah.
It's about a 6 foot drop, and you have a video almost of it. You kind of have the video of you.
The venue actually had the full on video. I had a side camera that was with us.
Do you not have the footage of the venue itself? No.
The venue itself, there is files, but they were from, I don't know what type of files we did get them.
So do you have them somewhere?
No, yeah.
Because I've never seen the front view of that. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I had to put it up the next day because I knew if I didn't, that the lads were gonna really hammer me.
Yeah.
So I put it up first, but like then.
You were in a heap after that, weren't you?
It was the last minute of the last song.
Yeah.
It was "Heal the World," and I fell off. Jordan sang the words. There are people dying.
Because I think it was
me that was dying.
It was the dry ice, the smoke, wasn't it? You gave the illusion of the next day.
Yeah, over there they were using dry ice. Dry ice is smoke that doesn't rise.
Yeah,
it stays on the ground. And over there, I was standing on bass bins all night. There's one here, then a big huge gap, then another set of bass bins, and I was able to stand on them and shake people's hands and
yeah.
And but also during the show, I wear dark sunglasses because I wanted to keep up. The reason why I wore those and I wear them is because it keeps up the appearance of. I wanted to get "This Is It" across.
Yeah.
That was basically
Michael Jackson's last.
Yeah, so because people saying "This Is It" and it was fresh in their mind, so I wanted them to try and get the feeling that they were at Michael Jackson's show.
Yeah.
So when I put together the show, I mixed it together with the Bad Tour and "This Is It."
Yeah.
And that's what we came up with. So that's what we came up with.
And then you went on your snot in the last song, and
yeah, and then I went out for a couple of drinks, and then I had the likes of Aslan and stuff like that slagging me in the Rahini Inn and stuff like that. And everyone's like, "Oh, Anto, it's great to see you. Did you enjoy your trip?" Because
everyone had seen it.
Yeah, no, everyone was just everywhere I went.
If you can find that front view, please let me see it.
If I can.
I need to see it, and I need to put it on this video as well. Yeah. But I mean, they're kind of all the main things that we kind of wanted to cover here today. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot more. There's definitely a lot more that I'd love to go into with you, but I guess the idea here is leave more to the imagination and leave the people wanting more. Is that a good way of ending it, I guess?
Well, the other thing was, like, people keep asking me, will I go back to the Olympia, will I go back doing the show, and will I do this and that, and I'm still on the fence whether to put it back together again, because just this year, I mean, we done the last one we done was Vicar Street. It was actually last year. Last year. November.
No, it was March or April last year.
It was April last year. Yeah. So that was the last big one. And so like people just keep texting me and emailing me, just asking me, saying, "Look, will you just do the goddamn show?"
And what's the plan? Would you like to go back and do it again?
Yeah, I'll probably do it again. The plan is we're trying to plan strictly the music of Michael Jackson. I don't know if people think that's a good idea. Maybe they could tell you.
Yeah.
So we were going to basically just use as much musos, like as brass, backing singers, more instruments, really make it all about just the music, like solidly about the music. Make the music so it's like like perfect.
Yeah.
So you're going along to enjoy. Like we were thinking of doing the Thriller album, from start to finish. And then we were also thinking of doing the Bad album from start to finish. So we're trying to think, what format would be different rather than you just going along seeing the typical type of Michael Jackson show that that you're used to seeing. So yeah. I wanted it, because I'm a singer, I wanted to sing the songs that like vocally bring it to the people. So I don't know. So we might bring it. I might I have been talking to a couple of the guys about bringing the show.
Yeah.
So that was one of the formats we were thinking.
And 100%, if you do decide to bring them back, we'll tell people all about the tickets and where they can get them, and we'll try to get some people to come along from the YDD squad. Bring a few of the guys along. But yeah, so as I said, I'm going to try and leave some more to the imagination and get you back in for another video again. If the people want to see more, and also just to touch on some of the things that we would have missed here today, because obviously this is quite a long video as well.
Yeah, well, what I'll do then is the next time is I'll probably sing a few tunes and stuff like that.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll link your my dad also has a YouTube channel. Doesn't upload the same way I would, but you do upload a lot on your channel as well.
Oh yeah, my channel's probably just full of gobbledygook, really. You know what I mean? And bits of.
Well, I'll link the channel anyway, and maybe link one of your better videos or whatever. Even not even one of your singing one, just from the show itself, so people can see.
Then I'll see if I can catch up on my subscribers. Is it?
Yeah. So
I'll see if I can catch up.
You're a little bit behind.
We should do that. We should have see if I can catch up on your subscription thing.
You can fuck off. But anyway, guys, I gotta wrap the video up here. I just want to say thanks to my dad for taking part, because you guys requested it.
Yeah.
And we're definitely gonna get back in for another video soon enough as well, just to kind of touch up on some of the things that we forgot about. Because obviously this is a very long video. So I hope you did enjoy this video. I hope you enjoyed some of the stories that my dad had to tell. And we'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, peace.